before I just did that. But I wanted to shout her out this week because that's pretty fantastic for just starting out in the business, helping 5 people get started. That's pretty cool. So, anywho, I'm going to kick it over to Laurel and let her talk about what she's going to talk about. I think
sorry, I'm sending my notes to my Facebook real quick since everything's all backwards. Okay.
I'm going to mute myself so there's no feedback.
Sounds good. Okay, you guys. So I don't know how many of you have any idea who I am, but Bree and I are related because we are technically all in Leslie's downline. So those of you that know who Leslie Cortez is, I'm one of her personally sponsored coaches, and so is Anita, who is obviously Bree's upline. So how we're all related, like sisters. And I have been a coach for, oh my God, I just hit my 3 years. And I'll tell you guys, like it's so surreal. Like I can't believe I've been a coach for 3 years. I've been a customer for 15 years. No joke. I was that morbidly obese girl that did Slim and 6 and like from a size 18 to a size 2. I mean, I am literally the epitome of customer turned coach. It just took a really long time. Super, super, super long time. I joked around with Bree about this yesterday. I am that girl that I did so well in the business in the beginning because I was so driven by rank. And ironically enough, looking at me on paper, you're like, oh, girlfriend, your rank's so sad. So I can't shout myself out as like a 10-star diamond. I'm literally still a diamond coach. I've had diamonds pop. Nobody can stay diamond at the same time. Nobody can like give me that good juju I've been going for the last 3 years. But I'm here to tell you guys, you can still be a diamond coach and have that 5-star diamond rank. So I always, always, always say, work this business like you're going for rank because income will follow it, but don't ever put all of your eggs into that rank basket and beat yourself up over it, because part of what I'm going to talk to you about being your authentic self tonight, I'm going to talk about how your mindset plays into that. And man, when you get down on yourself, everybody feels it and you stop attracting the people that you want, right? So I'm not going to give you too much more backstory on me. If you follow me on Facebook, I have chickens and ducks and children, and I'm pretty much a freak of nature. I am constantly being for entertainment too. I'm always hilarious, mind you, because I'm a hot freaking mess. Every live video I do is like this, so you'll have to pardon it. But I'm so authentically myself, and I have been since I started coaching. I go out there and I do what feels good and what feels right. So we'll delve into that a little bit more, okay? So I'm going to get all dictionary on you. What is authenticity? What does it mean to be your authentic self in this business? Quite literally, you guys, it means being real and genuine and not copy. There are, 465,000 of us. So if you're out there on Facebook and you're like, hey guys, join my challenge group with a stock photo, you are not going to stand up to anyone, right? And so often I have coaches say, oh my gosh, I'm not doing well in this business, and I don't know why nobody's attracted to me, and I don't know why I'm not selling challenge packs, and I don't know why people aren't coming to me, and I don't know why I'm not. Can you guys still hear my baby in the background? Oh my goodness. She is like losing her cookies over there. They say to me, I'm not doing well. I don't know why I'm not doing well. And I always have to tell them, you're not putting yourself out there. You're not being authentic. People can't differentiate between you and some other Joe Schmo coach, right? So the biggest thing, and people will always shake their heads at me because it sounds so simple, but your 3 vital behaviors are what make you authentic. They ensure your authenticity, all right? I know it sounds crazy, but I got some good little quotes that I'm going to read you, and it's all going to tie together, all right? So if you're taking notes, write that down, because your 3 vital behaviors are what make you authentic, right? Okay, so if you looked back on my business in 2014, which was my first full year as a coach, I started at the end of 2013, I freaking killed it. I was in the top 200, my team, 6 months in. I matched my income 6 months in. I had a diamond pop 4 months in. It was crazy. And you know why? Because my fitness journey was at the forefront of my business. I was prepping for a figure competition. I was all over Facebook. I've been talking about my fitness journey for a couple years anyway because I had been on it. But that was the turning point in my business. I was, doing that figure competition. My business was on fire. I was on every single training I could get my hands on, every YouTube video. I have exhausted every coach training related YouTube video ever because I watched everything I could get my hands on. I was sharing like mad. My why was so deep. I have been in pharmaceuticals for 10 years. Hate it, by the way. I'm like the hippy dippy freak mom. And it's because I've been in pharmaceuticals for so long. And I wanted nothing more than to quit that job. But I made great money. And there was always that looming, like, how are we going to afford to actually retire me from this job, right? So then in 2015, I got pregnant with our second kiddo. And my niche totally changed. My vibe totally changed. I was working out, but I wasn't doing my hardcore workouts. I wasn't prepping. I didn't have abs to show people. Instead, I had the opposite. My freaking butt was this wide, and I was just weird and all over the place. Not to mention my hormones were raging. So, you see things on Facebook that irritate you. Well, what about when you're hormonal and you're pregnant and you're like, oh, like it was so hard to have that positive vibe. Now, granted, that didn't stop me from posting. That didn't stop me from interacting. But the vibe shifted, right? I mean, it was totally different. I was hormonal. I was unsure. And all I could think about was quickly increasing my income so that I could, step away from my job for certain and not have to worry about it. Because at this point, I'd matched my income, but I was spending two incomes. We like shiny things, and we're stupid. We're totally, like we're a Dave Ramsey nightmare. Like I'm sure if he looked at our finances, he'd be like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do for you guys. We're such a hot mess. And so I had to go, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I was stressing that all the time. Literally my vibe was stressful, whether I knew it or not. Okay. So I'm looking at my notes here so I don't get off track. Let's see here. Okay, so it clouded my judgment, right? It was fear. Everything I was doing was fear-based. Absolutely everything that I was doing every single day was fear-based. I would get so inside of my head that I'd be, like crunching numbers and I'd be figuring things out. And instead of sending messages, instead of just doing the things that I needed to do to ensure that I was successful, I was so busy stressing, and then I wouldn't work out. And then you can't share a workout if you haven't worked out, right? And then I was stress eating. You can't share a giant plate of freaking cookies and coffee with people. Like, that's not inspirational. And it's one thing to share the icky stuff, right? Like, the icky stuff happens. It's normal. It's part of our journey. But when every day is icky, how can you be a coach? How can you be a good example if you're not even doing what you need to be doing? So my vibe was, it was not good. I mean, I was pretty good at hiding it, but I knew that something was up, right? So my income didn't dip, but my income stayed the same. It did not increase. My rank stayed the same. Direct reflection, you guys. Direct reflection. I just lost my notes here. Hold on one sec. Because Bree knows I can ramble. This girl can ramble. So if I don't have notes, it is all over. Okay, so this year, I was still in that fear-based mindset. I had postpartum depression until about 3 months ago. And thankfully for me, with my first, I had it, and I had no idea that I had it. And that fog lifted, at 1 year, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been depressed for a year. I had no idea. So when I had the telltale signs of it with Avery, I would tell Ricky, I was like, hey, I definitely have postpartum depression. Like, I can feel it. I don't feel like myself. I'm like randomly going off the handle for certain things. And I could tell that it was still affecting my business. I shared about postpartum depression, but my vibe was still funky, right? So it perpetrated my happiness, right? And I was doing this thing where I was attaching my happiness to things, right? To being a 5-star, to being a 10-star, to income, right? And I was like, I can't be happy until I have this. I'm not going to be happy until I have this. Well, that directly affected the vibe that I was putting out on Facebook. Trust me, I promise I'm getting to my point. I swear. So, like I said, it plagued me until about 3 months ago. Where's Daddy? What's he doing? Oh, he's laying her down. He's laying her down. Sorry, you guys. 1 sec. I'm like the magic, baby whisperer here. So I'm just going to make sure everything's good. Hurry, close the door. Everybody be quiet, please. Okay. Alrighty, so I was just telling you guys, plagued with postpartum depression, right? It was directly affecting everything that I was doing in my business. And after it lifted, I was like, okay, girlfriend, you got to get your life together. You've got to do something because you are not being your authentic self. You don't feel like yourself. So you're posting things, that you need to post. I was going out there and I was like, I know I need to post about fitness, which means I need to work out. And I know I need to post about, clean eating, but I had a rough day and I really don't have anything to share, but I need to post something. So I find something else to post. But one of the things that has always been in my mind is yoga, and not for exercise purposes, but for that mental clarity. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have that mental clarity, you can't really tap into who you are. And I know I sound hippy-dippy and crazy, but I swear, I feel like I tapped into the mother load. So you're going to hear elite coaches talking all the time. You're going to hear everybody talking about it all the time, but especially the elite coaches, the ones that are very, 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 very financially successful in this business. They're going to hammer personal development into you like it is their job, right? And we hear it all the time. Personal development, personal development. Personal development does not have to be picking up a book. I just want you to know that. Is it so important? Yes, because those words are important. But I'm going to tell you, for myself personally, I can read PD all day long, but if your mind isn't in the right spot, you find yourself, your mind's wandering, and you're like, I gotta go grocery shopping, and God, I gotta pay that bill, and I really need to send messages to my customers, my coaches, and crap, I haven't worked out today, and your mind will wander, and you might have read 15 pages, but did you absorb any of it? No, because your mind's not in the right place, right? So for me personally, I found that I actually opened the doors of it with a 3-week yoga retreat. But for me, sitting down and doing yoga, being walked through the practice of being mindful, do you have aches and pains in your body? I want you to feel those aches and pains. Do you have stresses? I want you to feel those stresses. You can tap into them and you can truly release them. And I'm going to give you a little analogy that one of my old bosses used to give me. She used to say, if you have a list of things to do, I want you to, look at them, prioritize them, and the things that don't have to be done today, you put them in a file folder based on the date, right? So you number it out. It's February, numbers 1 through 28. 1 is the first, 2 is the second, so on and so forth. If you know that you can do a task on the 3rd, you put it in the file folder for the 3rd. And emotionally and psychologically, that cleans your slate, and your brain does not have to think about it. You don't have to dwell on it, right? Crazy concept. And I tried it a few years ago and was like, oh my God, this is magical. For me, yoga is the exact same thing. You can sit down and you can really tap into the feeling, and you're like, hey, I'm stressed about X, Y, and Z, but why? You really think about it. Why am I actually stressed? And 9 times out of 10, it's this minute, fleeting moment, and it's something that you don't even need to be worrying about right now. It's totally irrelevant. Or the fact that you're so busy stressing about it is keeping you from doing what you need to be doing anyway. It's crazy, but I'm telling you, if you guys are not into yoga, get on Beachbody On Demand, freaking pull up 3-week yoga retreat, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you're dedicated to a program, you can still do 3-week yoga retreat. It is 30 minutes, and it flies by. I am one of those people that I look at the clock when I'm working out. Unless I'm lifting weights, because that is my niche, I look at the clock. Yoga, I don't. And seriously, I'm always sad when it's over. Now I finally understand. So I'm doing P90X right now, and I used to dread Tony's 90-minute yoga. I was like, A, who has time for 90 minutes? And B, yoga is boring. It's not if you're doing it right. If you have the TV on or your kids are jumping on you, and that's the only frustrating thing, is it's one of those workouts it's hard to do with distractions. But if you really focus in and tap into it, not only do you walk away sweating and sore, but you literally feel like the weight of the world has been lifted off your shoulders. Okay, so that was my, tirade that hopefully didn't go too long, because I wanted to give you backstory on this and why this plays into your business so heavily. Okay, so how the heck does this have anything to do with authenticity? It has everything to do with it, and I get so excited about this kind of stuff. So when you're inside your head, it's really easy to create that worst case scenario, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to pay this bill. And, I need to go to the grocery store and I have these people coming over in 2 hours and I'm never going to get it done. And you just build it up and build it up and build it up and make it this big freaking mountain, right? You're turning molehills into mountains, right? So here is the thing. You are becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy when you do that. If you have read the law of attraction and you believe in the law of attraction, you've learned that what the thoughts that you create in your head, you give them life when you think about them and you dwell on them and you turn them into this crazy, big, giant ball of frustration, right? You give them life. And if any of you have taken psychology, I have a psych degree, and I got to tell you, it's done nothing for me financially, but everything for me personally. When you become that self-fulfilling prophecy, you start putting that out into the world, right? So you start stressing about, I don't know, say paying a bill, right? You're like, oh my gosh, my paycheck has to be this much this week so that I can pay this bill. And if it's not, I'm not going to be able to pay the bill. And then if I can't pay the bill, it's going to set me behind. And you turn it into this big thing, and you spend more time stressing it than if you had just cleared your mind and gone, okay, let's figure this out. And you've done your workout, and you'd sent your messages, and you've gotten into the right state of mind, and you had been posting on Facebook, and you had been authentically and clear-minded you. You're going to attract more people when you are. When you're stressed out and you're freaking out about money or whatever, you're literally, you might not realize it, but every post you're putting out into Facebook, you're so putting stress out into the world. And guess what? That's when you attract those. You're like, why did I attract this person? Why does she want to join my challenge group? Or why does she want to join my coaching team? You attracted you. Like attracts like. Your vibe literally attracts your tribe. And I can say this with so much certainty, and I remember hearing coaches say it over the years, and it's not something people talk about a lot, because I think it's an elevated concept. It's something that you just wouldn't understand if you haven't actually been in that position. But for me, I've watched my business, and I've watched it, morph into these other things based on me. It's all based on you. You are in control of your business, but if you're not in control of your mind, you can't be in control of your business, right? Okay, so I want to read a couple of quotes to you guys really, really, really quickly. So I am running, Bree, I don't know if you're in it, but if anybody wants to be in it, anybody is welcome. I posted in TPL the other day, so I don't know if you guys get added to TPL. I don't add my coaches to TPL anymore, but I'm running what's called the Authenticity Project, and we're reading The Universe Has Your Back. And what I like about this is I am religious, but not everybody is. So she talks about the universe in different ways. Like for somebody, it might be God. For somebody else, it might be Buddha. For somebody else, it is just the universe. So it's so nice because it doesn't put anybody into a box. It's whatever you believe and whatever you're tapping into, which I really, really, really enjoy about it. But I'm running a really large PD group, basically. I've got coaches, I've got non-coaches, I've got team coaches and non-team coaches, so everybody is welcome. But what we're doing is something that I think so many people miss in this business, is actually digging into your personal development and applying it, right? I mean, it's like I said, it's so easy to be like, I read 20 pages tonight. You didn't read crap because you were too busy making your grocery list and stressing about your workout that you didn't do, that you should have done while you're binge watching American Horror Story. I can say this because I do it all the time, and I constantly have to get myself in check and get out of my own head and have that mental pep talk with myself. So, sorry, I keep dropping my phone. This is sketchy. So if you guys want to get into the group, you guys can just send me a message. That'll be easier than having poor Bree be the filter.
I'm in there, so they can let me know. If you guys just post below where I posted about this team call so that I know it's Laurel's group you want in, or I'll post the link to that and then she can add you in. Because I'm in it, I think I can approve them or get them the link.
So the only thing is I can't add anybody I'm not friends with. So what I'll do is I will
just administrator, or can anybody?
You can. I think you can approve anybody, or it doesn't matter either way. But what I'll do is I'll just send you the link. It'll make it easier, and then you can just share the link in your team page.
Okay.
And if they go, then I can click approve on them, which makes it so much easier. Perfect. But to actually click a button and add them, I have to be friends. Yeah. I'm not friends out of control.
Yeah, right now. Add them. Yeah, I'm in there, so I'll grab the link and then I'll just tell you that they're gonna go.
Perfect. That works awesome, and I'll approve the heck out of everybody. Unless it's some creepy guy, like we talked about, with a rifle over his face in his profile picture, everybody's in at this point. Okay, so
if it's a mom with a child in their picture, it's my team.
All right, that's my team too.
28 or 24 hours.
Right? Okay, so like I said, what does this have to do with your business and authenticity and what you're putting out into the world? Let me read this to you. Your vibes speak louder than words. I know, guys, it sounds so hippy dippy. I really I'm surprised I don't have incense burning over here, but it's so true. So in the first 2 chapters of the book, they talk about your inner stories, right? And they say your inner stories and ideas have been creating your reality. Now it's time to dive deeper into the practice of understanding how you projected thoughts and words affect your energy field. Gosh, you sound like a hippie. And how your energy field affects your life. Okay, so this book called A Course in Miracles says there are no idle thoughts. All thinking produces form at some level. When you think positive, loving thoughts and use empowering words, you feel good. But when you focus your thoughts and words on lack, judgment, and separation, you feel terrible. Your thoughts and words can affect your nervous system, your energy, and really your entire life experience. What? But it's so true, right? Like, how many times do we hear, and we tell our challengers, right? We're like, don't have negative inner dialogue. You have to be positive. And then we turn around and we're over here like, oh my God, I didn't rank advance this week, or I lost a coach and somebody canceled. And how can I share my journey because my thighs are fat right now and I just ate an entire cheesecake to myself, right? And then you set yourself up for this just negative, yucky crap, right? I can tell you guys, I have been doing it. I literally had to get myself out of the funk the other day. I was like, girlfriend, you need to stop. I told my husband to please light all of the Halloween candy in the house on fire because I was doing this thing in my head where I was like, it's not really that big of a deal, right? You're doing kinetics, you're burning so many calories anyway. You could have a piece of candy. And then it was, oh, I'm so stressed. I'm just, oh, God, I've got to send, these 300 messages and I'm just tired and I don't want to talk to this one girl because she's so draining. She wasn't draining me. I let her drain me, right? I could have ignored her message. And so then I turn around and I eat 3 or 4 pieces of candy and I self-sabotage. I don't like candy, you guys. I am a salty, crunchy girl. I hate sweets. But you better believe when I am stressed and weird, I will eat them. It's totally a former eating disorder thing, right? So I'm going to keep reading these to you after I pick up my pen. But I want you to really, really dig into this because I swear it's so true. And you hear it in so many different forms in so many different ways. But I feel like personal development is the first thing to go. When you feel stressed in your business and you feel like you have a lack of time, that is the first thing that everybody ditches. I'm here to tell you, and I have a little spinoff of this group that I'll talk to you about in a sec for coaches. But when you say, I can't do personal development, I'm just going to do my workout and I'm just going to focus on my business. At some point, you're setting yourself up for failure because all of those things that you need to be doing are not going to be done with the right intention because you're in a funky mood. So I've told all of my coaches in this new group that we're starting that it is fitness first, hashtag fitness first, hashtag PD second, and then it's work your business. You do not work your business. You do not look at your freaking phone until you have done your workout, drank your shake, done your PD. Or for me, it's always PD first. I literally do yoga first in the morning, and I read my PD, and then I drink my shake, unless I'm saving my shake for the evening as my, don't eat all the candy treat. And then I work my business, and then I do my P90X in the evening. Whatever you've got to do, and your business is going to change and morph, and you're going to change and morph. Seriously, you guys, it's okay to change things up, but know when to say when, and know when you're getting off track, recognize that sign, and reel yourself back in before you do what I did in 2015 and you watch your business sit stagnant, that's not fun, trust me, especially when I was like, I'm going to be 10-star diamond. Nope. Really annoying, but it's my own fault, right? And that's why I feel like Beachbody coaches are I don't want to say we're superior to every other multi-level marketing group, but we have to become better people to do our business right. And most companies don't get that, right? You get to work on yourself first, but 9 times out of 10, we pour into everybody else and we don't do anything for ourselves, okay? So hashtag fitness first, hashtag PD second. Just keep that in your brain. And I'll talk a little bit more at the very end about the other group that I'm doing, the spin-off group, but it's basically how to run your business and how to be authentic. And you have to be in the book club to be in that group. It's you have to be getting in your PD with everybody else to be in the group. But I'm going to talk a lot about branding and being authentic on social media. And we're going to start next month. So I'll be sure to let Bree know, and Bree can give you guys all the details. All right, I've got more quotes for you over here. All right, so your energy is your greatest source of power. When you vibrate a high vibe, loving energy, you're going to receive high vibe, loving energy reflected back to you, okay? That goes for the coaches and the challengers you're attracting. If you're attracting Debbie Downers, it's because, now, not every single time, I still get some Debbie Downers, and I mean, they're attracted to you because they want to be like you. But you always have to keep yourself in check. I always look at the coaches that I'm attracting recently, and if I'm attracting a lot of coaches that are not me, I know that I'm really not doing what I need to be doing on social media. I'm attracting the wrong people. It's not always going to be that way, but keep that in mind. I'm probably going to butcher this guy's name, but it's Yogi Bhajan, the yoga master who brought the Kundalini teachings, no idea what that is, to the West, said, if your presence doesn't work, neither will your word. Being in alignment with your presence means that you allow the energy of the universe to move through you naturally. It means that you set aside all limiting beliefs and smallness, and you're realigned with the thoughts, words, and feelings of love. Simply put, your energy is free-flowing expression of love. Okay, so one more time. If your presence doesn't work, neither will your word. So like I said, you can be posting all day long, but if there's not the right vibe there, or your posts are hollow, nobody's going to be attracted to it. I think I have one more quote for you guys, and then I'll get back to my main point. Maybe that was all of them. I've highlighted the crap out of this book, so I can't even tell. This is just a thought from the author that I truly appreciate. She says that in this book, this next chapter that I was reading to you, she's going to help you understand how images, thoughts, and perceptions affect your energy and offer guidance on how to strengthen your energetic presence. So that's the biggest thing, you guys, is just being really in tune to the thoughts and the images and that movie screen that you play to yourself. Like when you look at your life, and this is why vision boards are so important, and this is why goal setting is so important, because like I said, if you're dwelling on the bill that you need to pay, or the bill that didn't get paid, or the fight that you had with your spouse, your friend, or your mom, or whatever, and you're focusing on that, and you're dwelling on that, you're creating that perception, and it becomes your reality. But if you're sitting down, and in the morning you're doing your PD, and you're doing your meditation or whatever you have to do, and then you are doing your workout, and you're drinking your shake, and you're getting online, and you're positive, your messages to people are going to be more fluid. They're going to be easier. You are going to get better reception back. And then if you're sitting down, and I do this once a week, if not more, sometimes once a day, I set goals and I realign goals every single week at a minimum. Normally it is daily. Like I have I look like a hippie. I got a hippie dippy planner over here. And literally every single day I put this mental image, this perception, this thought, this goal out there so that is in the forefront of my mind, and that is what I'm thinking about. So for me, I put down that I need to end today at Success Club 20 and 10 coaches. I need to end tomorrow at Success Club 30 and 15 coaches. I need to end Sunday at SC 40 and 20 coaches. Does that always happen? No, like life happens, and you'll have those 10 people that bail on you. But for me, that means I need to be having X amount of conversations to ensure that I end at that, right? So then I put that, and that's my own goals. You guys, that does not have to be your goal. But what you need to do is sit down and create that vision board, right? You've got your big dream, your big goal. Your big goal, for me, my why was to quit my job, right? Now it's to retire my husband, just like Bree. So that is my big goal. What do I have to do every single day for that big goal? My husband is a supervisor and has 20 people under him and makes good money. It's great, but it's unfortunate when you're trying to freaking match an income. So that means that I have to go, okay, if I want to retire him, and I'm horrible at math, but man, in this business, I love me some math. I love figuring out how much my paycheck is going to be. I have turned into a freak with that. But I will sit down and I'll go, okay, so in 6 months, this is how many conversations I need to be having every single day to generate the income to be able to retire him. It's called reverse engineering. So creating that vision, creating that dream board or goal setting daily, whatever works for your brain. For me, I love the vision boards. I do one once a year. Even as my desktop background, I don't ever see it. I don't look at it, and then I push it out of my head. So for me, I have to do that gut check where it's like, okay, so what was your end of day goal yesterday? Well, crap, you didn't hit it. Okay, well, now you have to readjust today's goal. Now you have to sell 2 more challenge packs because you didn't hit your goal yesterday. And I'm constantly keeping myself in check there. I grant myself grace because we're human, and I can tell you I have missed more goals than I have hit in this business. I've hit every goal, but I have not, well, not every goal, but I've hit almost all of my goals, but not on the same timeline that I had, right? So grant yourself grace, but still hold yourself accountable, right? Okay. How many minutes do we have left so I don't get crazy off track, Bree?
Usually we don't go more than like 45 minutes to an hour. So I think with the technical stuff, you've only been like 30 minutes or so.
Well, I only probably have another 5 minutes anyway. So really the whole point of this, without me sounding hippy-dippy and crazy, I'm going to tell you guys, seriously, I want you to go. I've got like a little assignment for you, and I want you to report back to Bree or do whatever you guys do on your team page. But I want you to look at your Facebook page, and I want you to scroll through your most recent posts. And I want you to really honestly say to yourself, would I know that I was a coach if I didn't know me, right? Would somebody else know you were a coach? Would you be attracted to you? Would you be interested in talking to you or not? Like if you're looking, I used to do that. I would look at my pictures and I was like, oh, I wouldn't even look at my stuff. Like I used a really crappy filter and it looked like it was like sepia and everything was brown and I wasn't attracted to me. I was attracted to the coaches that were out there, with these visually appealing pictures and, Pacific Northwest, hiking photos and really gorgeous photos of their food. I wasn't attracted to the sepia, crappy, hazy, photos that I was putting out there. So I don't want you to reinvent your business, but I want you to really see if you feel like you are putting your actual authentic self out there, right? And now to get rid of the hippy dippy stuff and to just really rant at you a little bit, I'm going to be kind of feisty. I'm not going to drop any F-bombs like I normally do on my team calls, but you know who you are. Deep down, you know who you are, right? If you don't know who you are, you need to make a list and add this to your assignment too. And I want you to name the 5 top things that are important to you in your life. If tomorrow you were told that they wouldn't be a part of your life anymore, it would crush you. Mine is my family, my Beachbody business, my health. Gosh, I have a list somewhere, but those are my 3, right? So I want you to write down your 5, the most important things in your life. And I want you to look at your Facebook page and go, am I even talking about those things? Am I sharing the things that mean the most to me? Am I sharing that? Am I putting that out there? You guys, I always tell people not to, post cat videos or share super controversial things. But there's a fine line between being authentically you and not sharing anything because you don't want to offend anybody, right? So once you make that list and you look at who you really are as a person, you need to really evaluate, like, okay, do I not post things because I don't want to piss people off and I don't want to, I don't want to ruin my business by not sharing things that are important to me? Truly, I think it depends on how far you are in this business. If you're a brand new coach, you should just be blasting Beachbody crap all over your Facebook page, professionally, of course, sharing your family and sharing those 5 things that are really important in your life. But if you're like me and Bree and you've been a coach for a really long time and you notice that you're attracting people that, really they're not you, or you're posting things and you're holding back, you're like, oh, I really don't want to share. For me personally, I had a very severe eating disorder for about 7 years. And when I first became a coach, I didn't want to share about it. I didn't want anybody to judge the fact that every time I ate, I would shove my hand down my throat and throw up. I didn't want anybody to know that. I didn't want anybody to know that. And I started sharing that 2 years ago. Sorry, I'm checking my own spit. 2 years ago, I started sharing that because the turning point for me was getting pregnant with my first kiddo. I never looked back after that. But I wanted to share that hope with other people that had been there, that had struggled with it. Now there's other things that I share on my Facebook page. I have always really been into organic eating. That was something that was why Leslie approached me to coach in the first place. I'm always blasting Monsanto and non-GMO this and, organic that. And like I said, I have chickens and ducks and I have a garden. And so that's something that is a little controversial. I have had a lot of people in my life, my mother-in-law, my best friend, tell me that it's stupid and there's no difference between organic food and conventionally grown food. For me, that's passionate, and I get angry. I'm like, oh, no. You know, and so there's a fine line between sharing that and being a jerk, right? So you have to find that fine line, but don't hide who you are because you're afraid that you are going to offend people, because the people that you want in your tribe, the people that you want to attract, they're going to be attracted to your authenticity. Whether they agree with you or not, if you're coming across in a non-judgmental way, if you're firm and loving but honest, the people that you want in your life will appreciate that. And I can attest to it because I did a message to all of my peeps. So what I do, when I send messages during the month, I do follow-ups, I do new messages, I message the people that click on my event, but I also go to posts that really mean something to me, big deal posts. And I had posted a couple of posts that were big issue things for me, related to the election, but very much a personal thing that I was like, hey, I've got 2,900 friends on Facebook, and y'all need to know how I feel about this. And I was very eloquent. I wasn't bashing anybody. I didn't tell anybody where to go and how to get there. But for me, I don't want people that aren't open-minded on my friends list. And truly, I wanted to see who was like me, see who is my tribe. And I wanted to share it just for my own personal self. But I also wanted to weed out those people that I don't need in my life without me having to go through my friends list and decide. Because like Bree talked about on my team call last night, and we all know this, you don't get to decide who is going to be a Beachbody coach on your team. You talk to everybody. But at the end of the day, you truly want those people in your life that are going to be coachable, that you're going to relate to, that you're going to understand their quirks because you guys are similar, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. So long story short, I looked at those couple of posts and I clicked on all of the likes, and I went through and I messaged every single person. And I'm actually going to see, I'm actually going to read this to you. So I said, hi, so-and-so. I posted that super controversial post a few weeks back about blank. So I'm going to talk about it here. Because you guys can look at my page and you'll know, but I don't want to piss anybody off. And I wanted to reach out and say thank you. May seem random, but I truly appreciate having like-minded and or open-minded friends. Social media makes it so easy for people to be mean and hateful, and thank you for just being you. I truly appreciate it. And you know when you send messages and people don't message you back and you're like, oh, screw you. I messaged 350 people last night. In 2 hours, mind you guys. I watched Bad Moms, and I did that in 2 hours while drinking Prosecco. So you can do it too. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like, you got some business goals, you just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. But every single person, you should see my inbox, it is out of control right now because I've not gotten back to them because I do it at night. But every single person messaged me back and said, I truly appreciate your openness. Thank you. The biggest one was thank you for being brave. Thank you for being honest and open and authentic, which is my favorite word these days, and just being you. Whether I agree with you or not, I truly appreciate that you are so loving and open-minded, but you still express your views in that way. And I was like, yes, I'm finally doing something right in this business. Finally. All right. So I want you guys to take it from that perspective. When you are posting on Facebook, for me, it used to be, it have to be so methodical, right? Like, you know, Leslie used to say, okay, make sure you post a workout picture, and then make sure you post food, and make sure you post about your PD. And a lot of coaches work that way. If you're an emerald brain and you have to work that way, work that way. If you're like, okay, I have to post my workout and my PD, do it. Do what works for you. But if you're like me and you're like the hot mess express over here, and for you, everything you do is emotion-based, post what feels good to you that you know your tribe is going to be attracted to. And just make sure that you're mixing in your family or whatever's on your top 5, right? Your fur babies, your regular babies. Maybe you're really, really passionate about your other job, right? You have Beachbody, but you have another job that you really enjoy too. Maybe they play into each other. Put that out there. Talk about it. And talk about Beachbody like you are going to be lit on fire if you don't. I don't care how you do it the way your tribe is going to like it. For me, my tribe likes like in your face and then subtle, in your face and then subtle. I get on live video and I yell at people. I'm like, I'm watching y'all over here wrapping yourselves and freaking eating pills, and then you're all up in my inbox and you're mad because it's not working. Of course it's not going to work. I do that on live video because I'm like Brie. People react, the people that I'm attracted to and that are attracted to me like my live video rants, right? But they also like the kind of foggy picture of my 18th cup of coffee for the day with my little hashtag and my personal development book, because they're all kind of hippie bookworms at the same time, right? So I do what works for me. Do what works for you. Don't ever feel like anything that any other coach tells you is the Bible. Take every little nugget you can get and do what works for you. But at the end of the day, if you are on Leslie's page or you're on Anita's page or you're on Bree's page and you're copying and pasting her posts, you're not being you. It's one thing to see a post, and we've all done this because that was Leslie's big thing. Copy, paste, make it your own. That's how I ran my business for like the first 6 months. But the problem with that is at some point you lose your voice. So if you're uninspired and you see something you're attracted to, like me, I will copy and paste it and put it in my memo pad, and then I will, step away from it, and the next day I will read it and I will put it in, like, put my own words into it, because maybe I was inspired by something that other coach said, or maybe I was like, damn girl, thank you, took the words out of my mouth. But don't ever just copy and paste. Don't ever steal people's pictures. Ever, 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 ever. I'm guilty of that. I used to do it. I have new coaches on my team doing it. I'm like, stop. Because that's not you. That is somebody else. And for all you know, and this happens all the time, I can tell you, like, Raina, Odell, and I will be chit-chatting, and I'm like, hey, Raina, I love that post you posted. And she's like, oh, it's not mine. And I'm like, oh, damn. So we, like, all three of us stole it from, like, some other person way up in the up. We stole it from Melanie Mitchell 3 years ago, right? Like, it happens, and it's okay occasionally, but make sure that 99% of what is on your newsfeed is you, right? Because nobody's buying. They can go to Amazon, right? They can go to Amazon. They can go to the Beachbody website. When somebody buys a challenge pack, they buy you. I tell you, they buy you. Okay? I know I rambled a little bit, you guys, but I hope that was helpful.
That was so inspiring. I love your hippy dippy self. I think that's why I vibe with you, because I'm like, I might have OCD and I might not like dirt. Organic gardening, but I'm like, you could be organic gardening and wash them and bring them to me.
So I'm very, very OCD. I'm non-diagnosed, but I know for a fact that I am. So that's part of the reason why this speaks to me so much, because I am always in conflict with myself. Like my hippie crunchy side is always like arguing with my A, and then my type A is arguing with OCD. I'm like, I buy pills for a reason. I'm a hot mess.
Do you have a second? I know it's getting time for you, like work, business stuff. Do you guys have questions? Do you have a minute for questions?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Usually it's pretty quiet. Like I'll be like, any questions? And then it's like crickets. But I wanted to open it up because this was really inspiring. And do you guys have questions for Laurel at all? About how she posts, about anything?
I'm an open book.
That book available on Kindle?
Yes, it is. It's available on Kindle. It's available on Audible. And I tell you, if you like a hardback, don't go to Amazon, because we broke the internet in our group with this book. But Barnes & Noble has it. So, yes, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, Audible, you're good to go.
That's the most annoying thing. I'm a hardback girl, too. And I'm like, no!
Well, I love Audible because I grew my business on Audible the first year. And sometimes it speaks to me more if somebody's, Mackenzie, it's called The Universe Has Your Back. Here's the book. He's like the prettiest hippie crunchy yogi ever. I freaking love her. Now, the only thing is, she says the universe so much when you're reading it, you're like, I didn't even absorb that last sentence. So if you're somebody like me that gets like oral OCD, really dig into Audible if you can. I usually do Audible, and then I buy the hardback. And
I buy a book and listen to it as well, because I absorb it differently.
Totally. I'm one of those people that I learn from doing, I learn from listening, and I learn from seeing. Yes. And so, like, multiple facets. So.
Yeah. I wanted to also ask, because you had said, you know, like, don't copy. And I think that's a huge thing too. I know I like came into the business with kind of Leslie guiding that, you know, Anita, it was something Anita was used to with the copy pasting. And guys, it is so easy to be like following top coaches, or even, you know, in our own downline. Like, we have some really awesome coaches that are making some awesome posts. And what I found is, like, I did that too. I would take a post and be like, I don't know what to post this morning. I'm going to go to like all these top coaches and find one of their posts. And then I'm going to reword, like, instead of I'm going to say them and me and my 2 babies instead of, you know, it really wasn't helping me learn how to craft my story, because it was somebody else who crafted their story. And then I was like, if I switch this to like my daughter instead of them saying their son, then it's mine. And it really wasn't. And it didn't help me create any better material. Like, I found myself stuck in this time warp of like, crap, nobody posted anything that I could kind of like take, right? Like, so with Laurel saying the personal development first, it's so much easier to craft a post when you've read personal development. Like, if my posts are going up later, I used to be like, first thing in the morning, I need to get a post up. And now I'm like, no, honestly, if it's 10 or 11 o'clock before I get my personal development and my workout in, before I have something to post, that's more important, because it's going to be a better post. And honestly, it gives me so much content for a post that I'm like, ooh, fold this page, highlight this. You know, like, I have so much more to talk about, and then I can sit down and craft my story through what I read or what spoke to me. So just know that when she's saying like copy a post, that's like a challenge group post. Like, if you have a generic, like, you want to use the wording for like invite to your challenge group and then go take a cute selfie and make that your post, yeah, copy paste. Like, I don't want you taking the time to type out, you'll get 30 days of dense nutrition and you'll
girls.
Yeah. Exactly. So, like, yeah, a challenge group, or like, what is coaching webinar? Go take my what is coaching webinar and say, like, me and my coach are hosting this webinar. Here it is, copy paste. Or events to a webinar. Like, yeah, copy the details in that event. But when it comes to your story, and Laurel saying write down your top 5, your 5 might be the same, but you have a different family. You have a different thing that you enjoy. You know, if it's your family, you have different things about your family that you enjoy. Me, I'm not ashamed to say that hair and makeup are in my top 5. I would cry if I didn't have hair and makeup. That's my anxiety, my stress reliever. Like, yeah, I can do my makeup in 2 minutes, but I also really like when I have 2 hours to do nothing but makeup. Like, if Aaron and I are on a trip, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take an hour to do my makeup, not because I need to, but because I want to. Mm-hmm. So that's something that my tribe, like, I attract girls are like, yeah, they like hair and makeup. I just posted about going to Ulta and was like, do y'all want a live video? And a couple of girls were like, yeah, like, what did you get? So I'm like, cool. I have a tribe building. Like, I have these people that like, you know, it's not about being fake because I like hair and makeup. It's about, like, it's an art form that I enjoy, right? It's not that I don't think I'm beautiful. People like, oh, you're so pretty without makeup. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Thank you. Like, okay, thanks. I agree. But if you have things that you love in your life, like Laurel's saying, she doesn't fit the mold of, like, her uplay. Like, if you guys know Leslie at all, like, she's very, like, I almost want to say, like, Valley Girl. Like, she's got, like,
stuff. She loves stuff. And
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm into stuff. Like, for any of you that are following me or have looked at my stuff in the past, my parents keep spitting, like, choking on my spit. It's annoying. Gave me their dining table that was theirs when they got married, that the guy made for them. And I was surrounded by antiques my whole life and was never really into them. And just in the last 5 years, I'm, like, super into them. My mom gave me, like, all of her cool antiques. And I, like, totally redid our table, like, chairs, Facebook Marketplace for the 40s, redid them. And that's that attracts my tribe is, like, redoing crappy old furniture. Leslie's the total opposite. Leslie's house is on Pinterest right now.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Just, like, sold out of everything since she started posting.
Yeah.
Like, don't go to the Michigan Home Goods.
No, and she loves it. Like, I like clothes, but, I mean, I'm that girl. I would much rather do my hair and makeup and then wear yoga pants. Like, I'll have a full face of makeup and then, like, a 22-minute hardcore, you know, shirt on, because that's just me. So Leslie and I are very much polar opposites. We just are.
Yeah. So I just want you guys to know that, like, when you see these coaches, you know, whoever you follow, whoever you're attracted to, or whether it's me or somebody on our team or a top 10 coach or an elite coach or somebody that you found through a group that's a coach, and you're like, gosh, I wish I could craft that story. I wish I could, why can't I write like that? It takes so much practice. Like, I look back on, you know, when you could click on this day, and I look back to post and I'm like, oh, but it's about building. People can see now and they're like, Bree, like 2 years ago, you've been at this. Like, it's incredible. Like, you're so inspiring to me. I've been following you for 2 years. I'm like, really? Like, thanks. But that is building your story. That is creating authentically and growing that story, because I didn't know what personal development was. I didn't know what I liked for personal development. I just read off a list of like, okay, read this book, got nothing out of it. Okay, read the next book. Until I was like, girl, you know what attracts me to personal development? I go to Barnes & Noble and I'm like, I like that cover. Like, that's how I pick a personal development book, and it works for me. So, and I figured it out. I was like, oh, duh. Like, I don't have to read the personal development book that my coach told me to read. I go to the bookstore and I'm like, that girl's really cute and I really like that title. And boom, loved the book and told my coaches about it and shared in my 365-day personal development group because I liked it. And guess what? Everybody that went and bought it liked it too. So that just goes to show that I used to be like really afraid of that. I was afraid of embracing my like blonde. Like, I am smart and I didn't want to be like, oh, Bree's blonde and ditzy and likes makeup and stupid personal development books. But you know what? Like, it makes me more real. Yeah. So I think you guys, if you can take away from this, really dive in. We just did a coffee and crafting event where we were crafting our vision and talking about, you know, being authentic and what we want. And like, there has to be something more behind it than money. And so Laurel saying this is like, yeah, write down your 5 things. And believe that there are people out there that like those things too. And it doesn't have to be what I like. It doesn't have to be what Laurel's posting. You don't have to have chickens. You don't have to be like farm-raised beef in your freezer. You don't have to Pinterest or be crafty. You know, whatever it is that speaks to you, that's what you need to start pouring your heart into. Because if you just do the things you don't like, or you think that there's something weird in our team where you're like, that book didn't do anything, like, try to deep down soul search. Like Laurel said, do the yoga. Like, figure out and center yourself and say, what would I like? If I had time, what would I enjoy doing? Because now I have the time to do some of those things. So that's incredible. Like, I enjoy now spending time with my children. I'm still not a play mom. Like, nope, I'm not going to cook like Laurel's going to cook, and I'm not going to go. But, you know, like, you'll start finding the things that really speak to you if you take the time to do that personal development first and really sit down each day and make one post that's just you. That's just like, I mean, I had to talk about losing my hair. That was not fun. But guys, it might have sounded vain, but I talked about hair loss because, yeah, I'm over here in like panic mode, and I took a picture showing like the chunk and everything because, like, I know I've got a lot of postpartum moms, and that was me being just like genuine, like, y'all, I'm losing my hair and it sucks. And what do I do? Help. Like, so you have to dive into your niche. You have to dive into who you are, because at the end of the day, these people that you're attracting into your team and attracting into this business become the foundation. And those are the people you hang out with the most. Like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm really glad I get along with a lot of Leslie's coaches, because that's who I talk to. That's who's growing these businesses alongside of me. So, you know, and you guys coming into the team, like, if I didn't like you, this would not be as fun. So, and I love all of you guys. Like, I have one-on-ones and I could chat for hours. Like, so many of us have one-on-ones and we talk and we're like, hey, okay, it's probably our kids are up from naps now. We've done nothing. But we enjoy each other. So you're going to find people like that in your team. Laurel and I really enjoy it. We got to know each other in Mexico, and we have different personalities, different things we enjoy, but we've just been so authentic that we now vibe together. Like, it just works because I'm not trying to be Laurel. I'm not trying to raise chickens, and that's okay. You know, I'm not as hippy dippy as her. So it still works because we just are authentic. So I'm reading these like hair things now. I'm getting like sidetracked.
Well, you know, it's funny you posted that, and I know I commented on it. My shake all over my face. So last year, because some of you guys might know, I have a daughter who is a year and some change, and literally at the same point, my hair fell out in giant chunks. I was bald, right?
Yeah.
And here, and I didn't have that happen with my son. And I did a very post that like Brie had done. I said, you guys, I'm just being really open and honest with you. I am losing my hair in chunks, and it's hard enough to be overweight and emotionally stressed and drained and breastfeeding a child constantly and not getting any sleep. But then to add into the story, I'm going bald. What, and I had so many moms either reach out and give me anecdotal humor that were like, it's going to grow back before you're fine. Or I was those messages in my inbox where these people were like, thank you for sharing that. Like a lot. I'm so open out there and I wear my heart on my sleeve, but most people aren't like that. And I was getting the messages saying, hey, thanks for sharing that, because I kind of felt alone. Like I kind of felt like I was the only person losing my hair, depressed, that was resentful husband could sleep all night. Like, so I mean, those are the things. Like, Leslie was inspiring to me because I wanted the life of freedom that she had built with Beachbody, and that's what I gravitated towards. I wasn't really into the shoes and the leggings, but she was really into organic food, and she was really into spending time with her girls, having that freedom and that time to go on field trips and those sorts of things. And I attracted to the vacation. And my love language is recognition and crap. I love me some free crap. And watching her get her stuff in the mail from Beachbody and go on the Success Club trips. And hey, I'm only going to keep you guys like 2 more seconds, but Success Club, you guys, 36 months in Success Club. I have not missed Success Club since I started as a coach 3 years ago. If you're not hitting Success Club, I don't care if you're not into the trips, if you're like, I don't need to go on vacation, or you're not into the prizes. Regardless, find something that drives you to hit Success Club every month, because you're going to find your business build so much faster if you give yourself that no matter what goal every single month, even if it's just 5, even if it's not 10.
I get Ultra trip every month because I hit Success Club. I'm like, I don't care about the bobblehead, but I care about a new contour kit. Like, that drives me. Guys, if you sell 3 challenge packs at Pace for Your Shakeology and like, or save it up, like, hey, 3 months I'm going to get some Nikes or whatever, like whatever, clicks for you.
Just know that it all plays in together, you guys. Like being you and being authentically you and sharing the good and sharing the crap and, sharing, like, I'll share if I fell face first into like a pile of cheese fries, but I also share like, hey, I'm getting back on track. I'm doing the 3-day quick fix and blah, 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 blah. Share the good, share the bad, share all of it. And by default, that is going to attract people that are going to have conversations with you, or that you're going to have conversations with. Or say you message somebody you have never talked to, but you were liking on their stuff and you're commenting on their stuff, and they were seeing your story and they already feel like they know you. They're that much easier. Like, it's that much easier for them to go, done, I'm going to buy a challenge pack from you, because they feel like they know you. And then by default, you hit Success Club. And then by default, you get to go on the trips. And then by default, your business grows. And then by default, you're a 15-star diamond, right? It's that it all plays into the compound effect. I don't care if you've been a coach for like 3 years and you're still emerald and you're like, oh my God, this is stupid. Don't ever quit. Allie Upham has a really amazing story. Brie, I don't know if you know Allie's story, but she was a personal trainer and started as a coach and was like, I'm going to quit my job and I'm just going to do this. And she felt hard and flat, and her business wasn't going anywhere, and she was like sleeping on people's couches, and she was super unsuccessful in the beginning. And I can't even remember how long it took her to hit emerald and star diamond. But Allie is one of the most successful coaches in our network, and it's because at the end of the day, A, she never freaking gave up, and B, she's very authentic, and her story is like she shares the nitty gritty with everybody. So if you're not following Allie, I think she's one of those really good coaches to follow, because it's not about rank for her. Allie Upham, so it's UPHAM, and I think it's after Y. She recently got married, so you'll be able to find her. But she doesn't live by rank stuff, and for her it was about what a fitness journey did for her and what teaching that to other people did, and being able to take her normal training groups and expand that and help more people. Her why is different than all of ours. They're all the same, but as far as authenticity goes, you're going to gain a lot from her, and you're not going to get distracted by the look at my shiny crap and look at my yacht and look at my new house and look at my, $200,000 a year, which I think for me personally, I get distracted by that, and I get resentful and angry because that would make such a difference in my life. So I tend to follow coaches that are just inspiring in general in their normal journeys. And always keep yourself in check. If you're following a coach that's not inspiring you anymore and you find you're more irritated by them, just unfollow them, because it's not good for your journey either as a coach. But Allie's a great one to really look at who she is. She's a really great person. Really great person.
Yeah. And I would say, honestly, I know we need to wrap this up, but when you go and find a few coaches, I always say this, like, go to the back office. You can go and see who is like trending or successful or whatever, the elite list. I say find 3 to 5 coaches that you really click with, that you like how their style. And I have them written down in a book instead of clicking like or follow, because my following, they're probably going to like and be attracted to the ones that I like. So I really don't want to like or comment or share any of the coaches that I am inspired by. So I have them written down in a notebook, and I allow myself once a week to go kind of scroll those people's pages. So I personally don't suggest just going and following a ton of coaches. I'm sure Laurel agrees, because it can dull your authenticity. You can forget what you like because you see so many what other things are going on. You're like, oh, I like that. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I like pink. Oh, no, I like all the neutrals. Like, it gets crazy. Like, it gets very confusing, and you forget, like, where you're headed and what you like, because you're like, oh, I like what they did, right? So instead of follow it, like, I love Nikki Whiting. She's my like, she does exactly what I do. Like, I might see a post and somebody's like, did you copy Nikki's post? I'm like, I haven't even been to her page, but we like have the same style. We have the same. So I'm like, I purposely need to not look at her page, because otherwise it will get too much. Like, I would be like, oh, she did that and she's top, and okay. So just make sure that you're just giving yourself some like room to grow first before you go and see what other people are doing. Like, let yourself grow, and then just go check in and pop in if you need some inspiration. So just write names down that inspire you and go check in on their pages, but don't follow. Don't like be a follower, because you're becoming a leader. Like, you're trying to build your business, not lead people to somebody else, right? So that's what I would say. Thank you so much, Laurel, for getting on the call and hanging out with us tonight. This was fun.
Ramble, you guys. I don't work off of scripts and I don't work off of notes. I like to just kind of free flow, but I didn't want it to end up like my team call that was 2 hours last night. So if it was a little like ridiculous in the beginning, thank you for bearing with me, because I had a good point to get to.
All right. Well, you guys join the group that she mentioned. I will share the link in our team page. And if you have questions or you want to write her name down to go check her out, she has a fitness page. It's why am I going to forget this? Superheroes.
Yeah.
That's
A
right.
little 5-year-old or 6-year-old now is really into superheroes. So that is our
superheroes and superheroes. So she has a really fun page. She super shares recipes that I like trying. So go check her out. All right, guys, I am out. I have 300 emails to get to, and I'm sure y'all have some messaging and some inspirational posts to go write about authenticity.
Thank you.
Your tasks were write the top 5 things. And what was the other one? Go
to your page and really look at your posts. Would you be attracted?
Yes. Perfect. So go do those things.
For a code.
You can message Laurel and tell her you did it. Or ask Laurel to go to your page.
Message me. I'll take it.
All right. Cool, guys. See you later. I will post this recording up on our YouTube playlist of team calls. Bye, guys.